Hello, everyone. My name is Shannon Tewari, and I am a second-year medical student at OSU Com at the Cherokee Nation. Today, I am excited to share with you the findings of our research project titled An Examination of Clinical Trials for Postoperative Non-Opioid Pain Management within the National Library of Medicine's Clinical Trials Database. The opioid epidemic has been at the forefront of healthcare since the 1990s and continues to cause addiction, overdoses, and death. The standard approach for the management of pain in post-operative care still primarily involves the use of opioids. According to a 2022 systematic review, interest has been expressed in the transition to non-opioid alternatives for post-operative care. When implemented, benefits of non-opioid pain management include increased safety due to less severe adverse drug effects and vastly reduced addiction factors. A shortage of research support contributes to the absence of safer non-opioid substitutes, not making a more significant impact in the current opioid public health crisis. Due to the limited amount of research in this field, our objective was to identify the prevalence of clinical trials that are utilizing non-opioid alternative treatments for postoperative pain using the National Library of Medicine's clinical trials database. For our methods, we searched the National Library of Medicine's clinical trials database for trials that were specific to postoperative, non-opioid based pain interventions registered from January 2009 through December 2024. Upon further analysis, we extracted all study information for the returns, screened for only trials that matched inclusion criteria, and then summarized trial descriptives, including status, phase, funding source, location of trial, age and sex of targeted population, and enrollment. We then assessed if there were any associations between these items and whether the trial was conducted in the US or not. From the search of clinicaltrials.gov, 52 trials were returned, from which 3 were excluded for being non-interventional and 2 were excluded for only including opioid treatments. Of the 47 trials included in the analysis, 22 were completed, 14 were active, 7 were discontinued, and 4 had unknown status. Among the completed trials, 21 used non-opioid drugs, while 1 used devices such as continuous local wound infusion. Of note, 11 of the 47 trials were specific to women, and 24 were conducted in the United States. So, what do these results mean for us? We believe that further research into non-opioid approaches for postoperative care is necessary and can help clinicians develop more effective pain management strategies and contribute to advancements in preventing opioid use disorder. Additionally, these interventions are particularly well studied in gynecological patients and thus should be used by clinicians to provide safer care. Our results indicate that given the harms of opioid overuse, there is an urgent need for postoperative medical practices that reduce the risk of resultant dependence on these drugs. Our results showed that 47 non-opioid trials for postoperative pain have been registered since 2009 and only 22 have been completed. In our study, some alternative pharmacotherapies from the clinical trials included NSAIDs, bupivacaine for anesthetic nerve block, and medical infusion devices. Additionally, among those trials, nearly half were conducted outside the United States, which is particularly noteworthy given the impact of the long-lasting opioid epidemic in the US. Finally, nearly 1 in 4 trials were exclusive to females, with the majority evaluating NSAIDs or local anesthetics as non-opioid alternatives for alleviating postoperative pain following cesarean section or gynecological surgery. Finally, considering the scope of the national opioid crisis, it is imperative that healthcare providers continue to search for alternative treatments that reduce opioid requirements and improve patient outcomes. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I thank you for your attention.